And the third episode of The Penguin has finally arrived, and the more this show goes on, the more I think, man, this miniseries should be called Snake, because Oz Cobb is a snake, boy. The more you get to know him and like him, it looks like he's gonna turn around and bite you in the ass, because this is what this guy does. He shows and talks everything you need to know to believe that he's on your side, and then when you turn your back to him, he shoots you from behind. Well, let's talk more about this later in this video, because this new episode called Bliss is actually focused on his young partner, Victor Aguilar. And for the first time, we get to know a little more about the boy's backstory in the show, because the episode starts with a very intense scene that shows what happens with Victor's family. It shows him in his life with his parents. It also shows him with his girlfriend, Graciela. And during the scenes, we get to know a little more about how was the dynamic inside his family. His father was a mechanic who used to work for a guy that took too much advantage of his services without paying him enough, which is something that Victor tells his father, and it becomes a crucial element for his arc in this episode. And this whole scene is actually a flashback that takes us back to the day of the Riddler's attack, when most of Gotham was flooded by water. And like I said, this is a very intense scene because we know what's gonna happen, we know what day it is, and we just wait for the bombs to explode and the water to come. And man, when it comes, the whole scene of destruction is really well made and actually pretty scary. Almost like a disaster movie in the style of the director Roland Emmerich that directed that movie The Day After Tomorrow. We see the waves of water destroying streets and taking cars with it, and then going straight to the apartment building that the family of Victor used to live, revealing the sad truth that they are all dead now. So there are two things that the episode is going to deal in Victor's story. The dilemma of working for the Penguin even though he knows the man is a maniac, but on the other hand, he's also a father figure to Victor now, not only replacing his dad, that, like I said before, used to be a guy that didn't care about being taken advantage of, and with the Penguin he has the complete opposite figure of someone who will not be taken advantage of and gives Victor money, raising him as a person that must take what is his and impose himself. Plus, the story also gives Victor another choice of going back to his girlfriend Graciela that will leave Gotham City because she has nothing here anymore and wants him to go with her, or stay behind and continue in this criminal life that could give him a powerful future alongside the Penguin. This plays a crucial part in the story because we get to see that Oswald's affection for him is growing more and more every day. Apparently, the villain really thinks that he has found a new family member for himself. He really gets proud of Victor when he does something good, when he imposes himself and starts to become a little more wit and clever in the criminal world. So we really get to see that in Oz's eyes, he has an affection for the boy. Maybe because he relates to him in terms of seeing himself on the kid. And it looks like this is the only relationship that he has in the show that is truly honest. Because we have a very good scene in a bathroom of a nightclub that the Penguin is doing his drug dealings, when he catches Victor talking to his girlfriend Graciela in the phone and finds out that the boy is thinking about leaving him. So obviously he gets furious with the boy, but much more disappointed and sad for losing him like that. And Victor actually decides to leave Oz behind and go after Graciela so that they both get away from Gotham. But once he arrives at the bus station that they both will get the bus to leave, he decides not to go with her because Oz's words stay in his mind about the whole future that he might be leaving behind and the ambition that he still has for going up in this life and not be like his dad was. And in parallel with this plot, we also have Oz and Sofia Falcone finally working together and receiving the cargo of drugs that was promised since the first episode by Alberto Falcone. and now they need to find a mob faction in Gotham that will work with them to spread the drugs in the city. And the first group that they go after is the Triad, that has a boss called Zal. And there are two things that are very interesting about this character here that I noticed right away. The actor who plays him is a guy called Francois Chow, who also played a mob boss in the movie Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, whatever the name of that movie was, which is a very similar character, even though his name in that movie was Mr. Keo. But I thought this was very interesting because he played two mob bosses of Gotham City in two different movies. Man, if this whole universe was connected and the two characters were the same, that would be kinda cool. Anyway, and the drugs that they are trying to work with this Triad is called Bliss, which is a substance removed from a mushroom, and it causes a great sense of peace and relaxation in the people who use it. Plus, it was also a substance used to calm the prisoners of Arkham Asylum. That's why Sophia Falcone knows about it, which immediately brought to me, and I believe everybody who is a fan of Batman, the idea that this substance must be connected with some villain from the Rogues Gallery. And I was really anxious to see if there was any connection, but they don't mention anything. So maybe there is a possibility there. People are talking about a connection with Scarecrow or Poison Ivy. And there's actually a drug called Bliss in the comics, but it comes from the Titans stories and is not connected with any Batman villain. So I'm really cheering that this drug has some connection with somebody from the Batman lore. I know this is a fanboy thing, but honestly, I want so much that they give us a little taste of what's to come in the future. But anyway, this miniseries is so good that we don't even think too much about it. So let's move on. It also becomes clear that the relationship between the Penguin and Sophia Falcone is not at the best state, because apparently he was responsible for her to be imprisoned in Arkham Asylum in the past. He actually gave her up to Carmine Falcone, and he put her in the asylum. So Sophia still holds a lot of grudge against the Penguin because of that. And we have this very apparent emotional scene that he tries to explain to her that he didn't know what her father was going to do with her. And he apologizes for all that he did, to the point that he tears up in his own explanation, and she also tears up a little. So it looks like they are forming a connection right there with those words, until they are suddenly caught by surprise by the Maronis, with Nadia Maroni and her goons pointing guns at them. So it looks like they are both screwed until Victor arrives back from the bus station that he didn't go up with his girlfriend in the bus, and saves Oz in the last moment, running over one of the Maroni's goons with the car and saving Oz. And going back to what I said in the beginning of this video, this is where the Penguin shows how much of a snake he is, because Victor asks what about Sophia, and the Penguin just says, forget about her, let's go. And they both run away in the car, leaving Sophia behind. What a nasty guy. And this is the end of the episode. What a great ending, by the way, because everything that he and Sophia just went through, the whole emotional conversation, was just a facade. Once again, the Penguin was just trying to fool her to be on his side. And you know what? It works. The guy has a way with words, like I said since the beginning of this show. Even we as audience actually believe his words sometimes, but that's what's so great about this character. He is a villain. He is evil and only cares about himself. So there are moments in this show that I think with myself, it's becoming pretty dangerous in this Matt Reeves story that we end up liking more the Penguin than the Batman himself in the whole saga. But the more they show the Penguin's real face every episode and how evil he is, the more interesting this character will become to face the Capes Crusader again in the future. So I'm really loving this show. Plus, the whole relationship with Victor also is in danger, because even though Penguin has shown that he actually has affection for the boy, it also might be all facade, just to take advantage of him. But anyway, this is something that we're gonna see in the future. Right now, we know that the next episode will be about Sophia and her past, probably. So I'm really excited to see the next episode in this great mini-series. And what about you? Are you liking the Penguin as I am? Comment your thoughts below. And also, if you are liking the content of BATGUS and this episode's recap of the Penguin, and you want to see the next ones, don't forget to leave your beloved like in this video and also your most welcome subscription in this channel so we can keep talking about Batman and DC Universe in the future, alright? See you in the next Bat video and bye bye.